All right, bladesmiths, congratulations. The two of you have made it through the first 2 rounds of our layer race competition, which means you're going into the final round. Now, we are giving you 4 days of your home forges to battle it out for the title of Forge and Fire Champion and a check for $10,000. We want you to build this. The Mesopotamian sickle sword.
The sickle sword originated in Mesopotamia at the height of the Bronze Age, around 2500 BC. These sickle and curved-shaped swords often symbolized royalty and power, and were primarily wielded during ceremonies by kings and authority figures. Although these swords were not common on the battlefield, the belly of the blade allowed for quick, devastating blows and inspired designs for later weapons, such as the deadly Egyptian khopesh.
Good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Go. My name is Robert Taylor. I'm from Brentwood, California. I'm a sergeant with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department. I took up bladesmithing because I liked watching Forge and Fire. It's something I really wanted to go further in, become an ABS smith, maybe a master smith someday, because I love forging. So I'm gonna go 500 layers of Damascus on each side with a 1084 center core. All right, we're going for our final forge weld. As long as I'm solid with my steel, 1084 will give it more stronger center. The place where I want it to bend will bend down, and then the tip will start bending up automatically as I hit it. I'm whacking it on the horn to get it to bend down. It's easier than using the hammer. I like it. Got the build all ready for the quench. If this quench doesn't go right, I'm gonna have to go ahead and start over, and that's gonna suck. Went in pretty hot. We'll see if we have any bad forge welds. We have a hard blade. I want to keep it light enough and balanced enough for somebody to swing it. Getting there. Feel really good about my weapon. Getting all the fit up done. I think this thing's gonna slice anything they put before it.
My name is Jacob Gates. I am 20 years old and I'm from Railton, Minnesota. Martial arts has always been my first love and first hobby, and then I got into bladesmithing. They both kind of crisscross because when you're making a knife, it's just got to be real patient with it. Wax on, wax off. I'm going to put a ladder pattern in this steel. Kind of can see the ladder pattern in there already. The length and curve of this blade is going to be difficult to work with just because I want to make sure everything stays straight and doesn't have any warps to it. Looking good so far, because ultimately that could send me home if that's not spot on. We're getting ready to quench here. I feel pretty good about my progress. Everything looks good. That's a good temperature. Oh, that is straight. Everything's looking good. Now we're gonna have to temper it. That's gonna take away a little of this hardness and it's gonna add toughness. Because right now it's pretty brittle. If I just went and smacked it on my anvil, it would probably shatter. I think the hardest part is gonna be getting the heat just right. I don't have an oven long enough to fit this sword in, so we're gonna have to do it all with a torch. It's not going to be as precise as having an oven. Don't want to overheat it. Makes me a little bit nervous because I don't know the ultimate outcome, but hopefully we get it just right. I want to make sure everything is even on this handle and everything feels good. As a martial artist, I'm really into flow and I'm really into feel. It feels good. I'm not quite sure what my strength test is going to be, but I think whatever they throw at it, it's going to be able to handle it.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the kill test. So to find out what kind of lethal damage they will do, I'm going to take your weapons and deliver some lethal blows on this ballistics dummy. Jacob, you're up first. Ready?
Cut the head off.
Let's do that. All right, Jacob, let's talk about your sickle sword right here. Your edge is razor sharp. Coupled with the fact that this is a very light weapon, I can use velocity to really wield that sharp edge. It cuts deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Robert, your turn, sir. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. All right, Robert, let's talk about your sickle sword. It's a very light blade, that much lighter than the other one. And the angle that you have in here lends itself to use not only velocity, but the sharpness of your edge to cut very deep into this ballistics dummy. And overall, sir, you will kill.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test, the Armored Warrior Chop. Test the strength and overall durability of your Mesopotamian sickle swords. I'm going to be chopping into these armored warriors. Jacob, you're up first. You ready for this?
I don't think I get a choice.
You don't have a choice. What actually happened is your sword bit into the other sword by about 3/16 of an inch, and it took out this chip. And once that chip was gone, the whole sword blew up. Your grain looks good, but unfortunately, it's just this sword against that sword. This time, that sword won.
Yep.
All right, Jacob, we hate to see this happen. You gave us a beautiful blade, but unfortunately, it did suffer a catastrophic failure on the 7th strike. But you are not out of the fight yet, because Robert, in order to become the champion, you will have to survive every single one of those 7 strikes on the Armored Warrior. Are you ready?
Let's roll the dice.
All right, Ben.
Good job.
Well, Robert, the big thing is, it's one sword. Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, Robert, you made it through all the testing. Jacob, it's a beautiful piece of work. Unfortunately, due to your catastrophic failure, we cannot continue testing, and for that reason, I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forge floor.
Thank you, gentlemen. It was an honor.
Thank you very much.
Very nice job.
Thank you.
You know, it totally sucks, but I really am proud of the blade I made either way. You know, they said pretty much nothing but good things about it up until it broke. And well, I'd totally come back for this and maybe get a shot at making it all the way through.
Well, Robert, we never like to see competitors' blades break, but yours did not, and that makes you the newest Forge and Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Feel pretty good?
Crazy, dude. Crazy. Winning this championship, I think, has really pushed me to my limits, and then that makes me want to push them even more. Now I'm a champion, I'm going to go ahead and get my ABS Smith membership and just really refine my skills.
What you have there are 2 stacks of high carbon, high quality steel. The red is 15 and 20. The yellow, 10.95. Now, I'm sure you know that you're probably going to have to combine those into some kind of Damascus pattern. It's time to find out about our parameters. Your tang must be a through threaded tang. Keep in mind that in the second round, you'll be attaching handles to those blades to turn them into fully functional weapons. Your 3-hour forge time starts now.
Everybody asks, well, how long did it take you to make that? I don't know. I made it till it was right. The challenge in Damascus steel is just making sure that you've got a good weld from the start. Don't get it hot enough or not. What you want to do is get your layers and get them heated up hot enough. It'll look just like you're frying grease in a skillet. A lot of people think that it melts together. No, that's not true. They're wanting to go together, but you've got to put pressure on it, and when they do, they'll bond.
So in the first hour, I want to make sure that I get my twist pattern Damascus made. That's going to be the hardest part of this challenge. to make sure the billet's stacked, get it drawn out, put it in the vise, and twist it up. Making Damascus is difficult because you're forge welding, which is a very ancient technique. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with a Damascus, so it's pretty tricky.
Do you think Mark's worried right now?
Well, I mean, he's up against 3 master smiths. I'd be pissing my pants.
I'm somebody who enjoys challenges. Crossing that point of no return, I really enjoy. I fought an MMA fight. I rode a bull once also. If you look for a reason to say yes to something, life will be more fun.
After cutting the bar into 4 pieces and stacking it up, pressing it down and drawing it out again, I think I may have bitten off more I could chew, but one good thing about making shark's tooth is you know you've got good welds in it because you have tested them severely.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmith, shut down your machines, drop your tools. This round is over.
I'm not feeling really good right now because I forgot to thread the tang. That's a disaster.
All right, Bladesmiths, the first round of our Pick Your Pattern Damascus challenge is over. Now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at your work. Mark, you're up first. Please present your blade to the judges.
So what I like about your design is that you have a false edge that should back up the tip. And you got the thread in. Good job.
Thank you.
I like the fact that I can see the pattern in your blade all the way across. There's just a bit of a warp. It's more pronounced on the blade. It'll be interesting to see if it moves forward.
Thank you.
Billy Bob, you're up next.
It's got a really nice shape to it, Billy Bob. I like the fine point. There should be a nice stabber. I like the pattern you put in there. It's very easy to see the raindrop.
Biggest thing with this would be, just getting that tang straightened out. So, good job.
Thank you.
Dwight, you're up.
Well, Dwight, overall, it's a fine-looking blade. I can see the pattern of your ladder pattern Damascus. It looks good.
Thank you.
Kills me that that's not threaded. What happened?
Just focused on trying to get it done and just ran out of time.
This is, in my opinion, the best finished blade here. I mean, that's just a really good all-around knife shape there.
Thank you.
Steve, you're up.
First and foremost, amazing kudos for trying such a difficult pattern.
Thank you.
The pattern isn't quite as visible as I would have liked, but there's no threading on this one either.
Correct.
You do understand that this is one of the parameters, and not having it is something that's a serious...
I absolutely understood.
Bladesmiths, in a competition where failure to meet a single one of our parameters is grounds for immediate elimination, 2 of you are on the chopping block. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Steve, your blade did not make the cut. David Baker will explain.
Steve, we put these parameters in place so we can judge the knives equally. 2 of you did not meet those parameters. Yours was just the least finished of the 2, and that's the reason we're sending you home.
Colson, Sam, gentlemen, congratulations. You guys have made it through the first 2 rounds of this competition, and you are going back to your home forges for the final round. You will have 4 days at your home forges to build an iconic weapon from history. You will be building this. The side sword. Your blades measure from tip to where the cutting edge ends needs to be between 35 and 37 inches. You have to have a forward and a rear facing quillion. You need to have a knuckle bow, 2 side rings. All of this needs to be put together and held tight with a pommel. So gentlemen, good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Here we go.
Back here in my home forge in Seneca, South Carolina. My game plan for day 1 is to weld together a Damascus billet and hopefully get it drawn to length. The thing get really hot. I'm using 22 layers. The pattern I want to go for is kind of unusual style with several reverse twists in it. I think that's good. That's enough twists. So it's the end of day 1. I feel pretty confident about my progress. It's morning of day 2. I got my Damascus all welded up, drawn out, and ready to be quenched today. Dead straight. The blade's hard. I got my guard, pommel, and all of the extra pieces forged out and roughly ground to shape, so I'm feeling confident. Day 4, I'm excited to get everything put together and finished. The tests that they're gonna put this sword that I've worked so hard on are not necessarily things that you should be doing with a sword, but I'm pretty confident that it's gonna hold up fairly well.
Well, it's day 1. My game plan is to get some semblance of the sword shape. So far, so good. I got the sword to shape, so it needs to lose a pound, half its weight almost. Day 2, I got everything ground out, so today is getting the sword quenched and straight. Pull my blade out of quench, like an arrow. I'm pleased. It's time to get it finished up, and I'm doing great on time. Whew, okay. I'm noticing delaminations, and I'm getting really worried. I have to build a new blade. Day 4. Okay, let's get to work the last day. Yesterday, I got the blade forged out, quenched, and started it on my handle. Looks good to me. I believe I have a $10,000 blade here.
Well, Colson, Sam, gentlemen, welcome back to the Forge. You guys just came back from 4 days of your home forges working tirelessly on your side swords. Guys, they look beautiful. Gentlemen, to start things off, we've got a dynamic kill test, and for that, I'm gonna give you to Doug.
All right, bladesmiths, welcome to the dynamic kill test. Colson, you're up first. You ready for this?
Send it.
All right, let's do it.
I really don't think that the tests are gonna be easy, so I'm hoping that it performs, hoping that it holds together.
All right, Colson, let's talk about your sword here. First up, I really like the Damascus pattern you have. It's beautiful. Now your handle and guard construction. Before we tested your blade, it was already rattling and a little bit loose. Your pommel, the same thing. But your edges are razor sharp. They cut nicely through the foam tubes and deep cuts into this ballistics dummy. Overall, your weapon, you will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Sam, your turn, sir. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
I had to do such a rush job on it, it might bend or break. I'm hoping they'll stay together and perform.
All right, Sam, first up, it's beautiful. The grind that you have, the needle ridge, it's a nice blade to look at. The weight of the weapon is very similar and close to that of your competitors, but it's all forward heavy. Your edge is sharp. You can see you can cut some of the foam, but on the other ones, it didn't cut as well because I'm worried about the way it's gonna cut and how I'm able to recover the blade. On the ballistics dummy where it absorbs all the shots, you pretty much killed it. Overall, your weapon, you will kill.
All right, gentlemen, welcome to our dynamic strength test, the Sandman and Shield Chop. And Colson, you're up first. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I always love that. Colson, we'll get to this in a second. First off, the blade, it held up beautifully. It cut fantastically, but this guard being loose allowed a lot of pressure to go against this weld, and you can literally see where you ground through 90% of the weld cleaning it up. I mean, eventually I think things are going to continue to break, but all in all, the blade performed fantastically. So I wouldn't call it a catastrophic failure. This is still a viable weapon. It's just unfortunate that that piece popped off there. All right, Sam, you're up. You ready?
No, but let's do it.
Well, it's on, so.
Colson's sword performed very well, but a piece fell off. So now I'm really nervous. I'm just praying mine holds together.
All right, Sam, I like the blade a lot, and it held up beautifully. It's still straight. The waste you put in here actually makes that finger very comfortable. Just would have liked to seen a little bit less mass here and a big pummel on here to balance this out. But it cut nicely. Great job.
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen. Well, right off the bat, I got to say, both of you should be extremely proud of your work. You gave us beautiful blades, but our judges did make a final agreement. Today's Forge and Fire champion is Sam. Very well done. Now, Colson, you fought hard. You brought us a beautiful blade, but unfortunately, it wasn't enough to make the cut. And Dave's going to tell you why.
Colson, you brought us a side sword that was a real performer and a joy to use. But that guard starting to come apart, those welds breaking, those are issues that we just can't look past, and that's why we're letting you go.
Thank you.
We want to say thank you for coming out, fighting so hard, but unfortunately, at this point in time, I'm going to have to ask you to please step off the forge floor. Thank you. Sam, you know what that means? You are the newest Forge and Fire champion, and you just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
It feels absolutely incredible.
Welcome, gentlemen, to the strength test, the steel slate stab. In order to test the strength and durability of your tip and edge, as well as the overall construction of your knives, I'm going to be hammering them into these steel slates. Jeffrey, you're up. You ready?
Do it to it.
Well, Jeffrey, your tip held up beautifully.
Yeah.
But you lost a little bit of edge here. I can run my finger on it without worrying about it, versus the rest of the blade is nice and razor sharp. But overall, the knife held up very well. Well done.
Thank you so much.
JD, you're up. You ready?
Just do it.
Just do it. Well, JD, I must say, for such a light knife, it held up really well. There's just a little bit of the edge, got a little bit dulled on that, but all in all, it held up very well.
Thank you.
John Francis, you're up. You ready?
Ready. Hit it hard.
Well, John Francis, your edge held up really well. There is one little spot of glinting I can see. The rest of it is nice and sharp. Very well done.
Thank you.
Now it's time for the sharpness test. To see if your blades still have an edge, I'll be slicing through these tomatoes. We've all tried to cut a tomato with a dull knife, you just wind up smashing that fruit. Unlike the strength test, this is all about what your blades do to these tomatoes. Jeffrey, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Okay, really nicely done. You can see I wasn't moving fast, just a steady slice. But the loss of a little bit of sharpness at your tip got to that last tomato. You can see the geometry of my cut changed a little bit. I wound up hooking it and throwing it off. JD, you're up. You ready?
Do it.
Okay. It's truly remarkable how light this is. As far as cutting goes, this thing is a razor blade. Nicely done. This is a really good cutter.
Thank you.
All right, John Francis, you're up. You ready?
Ready.
Okay. Just the skin is left on that cut. Just sharp as can be. Your transition right here is a little sharp, but it feels really nice in my hand. Good job.
Thanks very much.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made their final decision. But before I give you that decision, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I would be proud to own any one of those blades. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. The bladesmith leaving the forge is Jeff. Your blade did not make the cut.
Jeff, you brought us a beautiful blade, but the dulling it took on the strength test was evident in the sharpness test. You lost by a tomato. For that reason, we're sending you home.
Jeff, please surrender your blade.
I have to say I'm understandably disappointed. I have no regrets at all. I had fun, I've learned something, and it was a great competition.
Jimmy, Chris, congratulations, guys. You made it through the first 2 rounds of our 200th Forge and Fire competition. Now, in this final round, we're sending you both back to your home forges to build an iconic weapon from the Forge and Fire vault. Just like the rest of this competition, we asked the fans what they wanted you to build. Now, they had the choice between the Spadroon, the Darbri Gunshy, and the Hunga Munga. Well, gentlemen, with 45% of the vote, fans have spoken. The 2 of you guys are going back to your home forges to build the Darbri Gunshy.
Featured in Season 7 of Forge and Fire, the Darbri Gunshy is a double-handed sword originally from 18th century Thailand. This 5-foot-long single-edged blade was designed to destroy enemies with deadly blows and slashes. The signature flames and valleys of the spine proved a difficult challenge for previous competitors. However, one smith's decision to put slippery rabbit fur on the handle grip ultimately cost him the competition.
Bladesmith, good luck. We will see you in 4 days.
Good luck, man.
Good luck.
You got it.
My name is Chris Moss. I'm 34 years old, and I am a full-time knife maker. When I started making knives, people thought I was a freak. This competition made knife making cool. Keeping with the 200th episode, I want to put 200 layers of Damascus in my blade. So I forged them to the same size, clean up the edges, weld them together, and now I have 200 layers. Forging is done. Get this started. The quenching is always nerve-wracking. You could literally snap your blade in half. All right, here goes. Something. Definitely a little bit of a nail biter. Now we're good. That is a huge relief. Looks good. Got to get this thing put together. Guard pits on. All of my components for the handle are done and ready to be assembled. Now I get to the point that I've been dreading. I've got to put these flames in. Should use a finer marker for this. Let's make it flaming. Single slip of the grinder and I could fail parameters. We should be good. Man, I'm so glad to be done with these flames. This weapon is massive. It's fitting for the 200th episode. I'm ready to see what it can do.
My name's Jimmy Coronado, 38 years old. I'm a full-time groundskeeper and a part-time bladesmith. It feels great to be part of the 200th episode. I'm here to have some fun, make some blades, and hopefully take home some money.
I have my billets all welded up that I can get a nice twist going in each of my billets.
And now I'm going to take the billets and weld them together and forge my blade out of that. I'm attempting a canister pommel, and I forged out the numbers 2, 0, and 0, and I put them inside the canister, hoping that when I forge it all out, I should get a nice 200 visible there inside the pommel. But while grinding, I found a very slight warp. I need to get this warp out of my blade, but if something goes wrong here, I don't know what I'll do. It's the last day, and I could be out of this competition. End result, blade came out straight, and it worked like a charm. I did it. It's done. Now, I cannot wait to see this thing be destroyed or destroy something.
Bladesmiths, welcome to our 200th kill test. In honor of our 200th competition, we're bringing back 2 of our favorite ballistic dummies. The lovely Medusa in her snake headband, and our bluer than blue dummy of the North. Jimmy, you're up first. You ready for this?
Absolutely.
Right, let's do this. All right, Jimmy, let's talk about your Darbri Gunshy here. First up, the handle construction. You have it ovoid enough to where when I wrap my hand around it, it's a good grip, and it's a very light weapon. Now, your blade had a little bit of a warp, but it is sharp. And overall, sir, it will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris, it's your turn. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right, Chris, first up, it cuts deep because it's a wieldable weapon. The edge is very sharp, no marks whatsoever. And overall, sir, your weapon, it will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, gentlemen, 200 competitions. That's almost 400 smiths that have had their blades go through our strength test. Today, we're going to turn it up with a fan favorite, the skull chop, but not just one skull. 6 skulls. Jimmy, you're up first. You ready?
Have fun, Dave.
Okay. All right, Jimmy. Your blade took some small rolls here, but the blade is in the same shape it started out with. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Chris, you're up. Ready?
Give it all she got.
All right, Chris, blade held up, still in one piece, still solid. Well done.
Thank you.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the sharpness test, the multiple target slice. Jimmy, you're up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right, Jimmy, there is one dull spot here,
which I think might have got caught up on the second to last of the ballistics tubes, but all of the rest of the cuts were super sharp, so nice job.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, you're up next. You ready?
Give it all she got.
All right. All right, Chris, well, as you can see, great cuts on all of the media up there. In all, this thing is one hell of a cutter. Nice job.
Thank you.
Guys, this has been exciting. Our fans have put you through a very difficult challenge, but you guys came with your A games ready and gave us beautiful blades. But the time has come to decide which one of you is taking home the 200th Forged in Fire champion title and that check for $10,000. The winner of the 200th Forged in Fire competition is Chris. Congratulations. Now, Jimmy, you rocked it the entire way, but unfortunately, your time in this competition has ended. I'm gonna have to ask you to please step off the forged floor.
Congratulations, man.
I'm disappointed, but I gave it all I could, and Chris's blade just performed a little bit better.
Chris, congratulations. You are the 200th Forged in Fire champion. You just got yourself a check for $10,000. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All of these obstacles that the fans have put in our way, and they consistently picked something that would be awesome and really hard. It's what I would want to see. I just won the 200th competition of Forged in Fire.